We're about to dive into an industry that is quietly but very, very quickly changing one of the most fundamental parts of being human. And no, it's not another social media app. We're talking about the absolutely booming billion-dollar market for AI powered emotional companionship. This quote right here just gets right to the heart of it. We are talking about manufacturing a feeling, a connection. So the question isn't if this is happening. The real question is, why is it happening now? And on a scale that almost nobody saw coming. Okay, so let's get into it. What exactly is being sold here? Because this isn't just some little chatbot on your phone. Oh no, the technology and the promise that comes with it is a whole lot more sophisticated than that. I mean, just look at the features that make this illusion so convincing. We're talking about hyper-realistic androids that use incredibly advanced AI. They remember your past conversations, they can read your facial expressions to detect your mood, and they even adjust their tone. They literally learn what you like and what you don't, all to make you feel completely seen and understood. And get this, this is not a cheap novelty. Prices start at $10,000. And the premium models, they can go for over $50,000. This is a serious market. People are putting down serious money, which just shows you how powerful the need is that this product claims to fix. This slide lays out the real transaction perfectly. On the one hand, yeah, you're buying a piece of hardware, silicon, metal, a bunch of algorithms. But what you're really buying is an emotional promise. A promise of a relationship with zero arguments, zero compromise, and absolutely no risk of getting your heart broken. It's a world where you're in total control. And that brings us to a really crucial question, doesn't it? Is this the ultimate life hack for happiness? Or is it a shortcut that leads somewhere we really don't want to go? To figure that out, we have to look at the world this technology was actually born into. You see, this isn't just a story about technology, it's a story about society. This industry is absolutely thriving because it's filling these huge voids in modern life. It's basically capitalizing on what some people are calling the loneliness economy. The scale of this problem is just staggering. Over 60% of adults in developed countries say they feel lonely on a regular basis. That is a giant emotional vacuum. And you know what they say? Where there's a vacuum, the market rushes in to fill it. So what's driving all this? Well, think about our lives. We're more digitally connected than ever before in history, but we're also more emotionally isolated. Marriage rates are down, screen time is way, way up, and for millions of people, real, genuine intimacy is becoming incredibly rare. And hey, let's be honest with ourselves for a second. Real relationships are hard. They take work. They require you to be vulnerable, to compromise, to accept that another person has their own wants and needs. And for a generation raised on perfectly curated digital worlds, that can feel, well, exhausting and really risky. So AI offers this seductive alternative, all the good parts with none of the psychological pain. So how does the technology actually pull this off? How does it create an illusion of a real bond that is so incredibly convincing? Well, it's so effective because it taps into some really powerful psychological principles. It all comes down to this really addictive feedback loop. The more you interact with it, the more data it gathers on your emotional triggers. It then uses that data to constantly optimize its responses, making you feel perfectly understood. And of course, that deepens your engagement, which just feeds it more data. It's a perfect cycle designed for one thing: maximum attachment. And from a business perspective, oh, it's absolutely genius. See, these companies aren't just selling you a product one time. No, they're selling you an ongoing service. The entire business model is built for reoccurring revenue. So you might think you're investing in love, in companionship, but what you're actually signing up for is a subscription. You're buying monthly software updates to make the conversations better, or maybe purchasing new personality packs to change your companion's mood or interests. It's relationship as a service, monetized just like Netflix or Spotify. And humming along behind all of it is a massive data operation. Every single interaction is teaching a database exactly what words, what emotional responses, what affirmations make human beings feel loved and attached. That is priceless data for creating even more effective and, more addictive products down the line. So when you pull back and look at the big picture, you realize this isn't just an industry. It's a global social experiment. And we really need to start thinking seriously about the long-term consequences of making this kind of relationship normal. I mean, what happens to a society when a whole generation starts to believe that relationships should be easy and totally centered on their needs? What happens to our ability to feel empathy, to negotiate, to love someone who isn't literally programmed to please us 24/7? These are not small questions. They touch on everything from birth rates to the very definition of what it means to be human.
And while, sure, you might hear the argument that this could be therapeutic for some people, maybe those with social anxiety, that is not how it's being sold. The story the industry is pushing is that this is an upgrade, a better, cleaner version of a human relationship. And that narrative, that's a profoundly dangerous idea.
Ultimately, we might look back on this decade as the real turning point. The moment when we as a species collectively decided that connection, or at least a really convincing simulation of it, doesn't have to come from another human to be considered valid. That a feeling can count, even if it was manufactured. And that leaves us with the one question that really, truly matters. When the perfect, risk-free, effortless relationship is just a credit card swipe away, how many of us will still choose the messy, difficult, and beautiful reality of a real one? And if the answer to that is not many, what does that say about what we're all becoming?